Welcome to my channel YouTube. It's your boy Steven, and in today's video I'm going to share with you guys I had the opportunity of being the lead man on the job. So for this job I had to install an AC disconnect, which was about 60 feet away. So I'm going to just share with you guys step by step everything that I did. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, y'all, and let's get into it. Let's go. So how this all even started, I get to work. We had a few call outs, a few people were sick. And I had this as a work order, and typically you would have somebody to come help you, but since I didn't have anybody, I told my foreman that I think I can do it, and he said they would try to send somebody to kind of help me around 12 o'clock. So I just got to work. I got to the job, and like I said, we're going to be installing an AC disconnect, and it's going to be about 60 feet away. So I spoke to the customer. He did inform me that they did have a few sprinklers, so I was able to find them, and I wanted to dig those back because I was going to be using the trencher. I definitely didn't want to hand dig 60 feet, so my goal was just to make sure all of that was out of the way. Now all we're doing, we're just unloading the trencher. Typically, like I said, I would have somebody maybe help me do it, but like I said, all of this was on me to do, and I just wanted to get ahead as much as I could, so when I did get the help, you know, I made pretty good progress. So that's what my goal was. So basically I'm just unloading this. Typically I have my journeyman with me whenever I am using it, but this is my first time doing it by myself. It wasn't hard at all. Basically you just wanted to get it set up and put in the right position. It had rained a few days earlier, so I wasn't really sure how I was going to be with the mud, but it went through. It was smooth. I much prefer this route than actually having to dig at 60 feet, because that definitely would have been tough. But basically all I'm doing, I'm just making sure I'm getting to my 18 inches throughout the whole run. I did tell you guys I had a few sprinklers that I wanted to make sure that I didn't hit, so that's what you kind of see. That shovel handle right there just kind of prying it away, but it all went good. This is one of the first things that I wanted to knock out when I got there, especially when me being here by myself. I just want to make sure the trench was done so that I could start laying the pipe down. This is how the trench actually looked. I didn't hit anything, didn't tear anything up, which is a good thing. I did have to dig about 5 feet because they did have a pipe coming from that gutter, and I didn't want the trencher to tear that thing apart. But like I said, all of it went good. The ground was kind of hard right there, unfortunately, and I needed a pickaxe and I didn't have one, so that was a rough one, but we got it done, knocked that out. Now it's time to get the pipe laid down, and we're moving forward with the next thing. Let's go. So we're going to be using 3/4 PVC. We will be installing 2 different circuits. One will be for the AC disconnect, like I told you guys earlier, and the next one will be a switch for a gas furnace that they have in the attic. So we'll have a total of 6 conductors in a 3/4 pipe. But right now we're working on the little sub panel that I will be using. This thing is pretty small. It's being fed from another shed that's about another 60 feet away. Like I said, it's not a lot of room in this sub panel, but I was able to make it work. I had to knock my whole lot towards the front of the panel because I didn't have a lot of access towards the back. I was able to use my knockout set that I had just got from Greenlee. I tried to use my ratchet and wrench, but I didn't have a lot of access for it. But I did remember one time my master electrician gave me some advice, told me I could use a crescent wrench. So that's what I did. I mean, it wasn't the fastest, which is okay, but it did get the job done. That's all that matters. There's so many tricks in this trade that you learn, you know, from so many people that's done it before you. So it's something that I take with me. You know, that's what they used to do back in the day, is use crescent wrenches, from what he told me. But right now, basically, I'm just putting my MTA on. I'm gonna start measuring everything. Basically start laying some pipes so I can get my 90 and start running all of the PVC down to where we're going to be installing the AC disconnect. At this time I was doing pretty good. Everything is going smoothly. It's probably about 10:45, 11 o'clock. I had spoke to a few of my co-workers just try to see how their job was going. Like I said, they did tell me they was going to try to get here around 12 or 12:30, so sometime after lunch, which I was fine with. But I just wanted to make sure that I had kind of put us ahead, so when they did get there, we could just kind of finish up the job. But everything was going smoothly. Got my 90, got everything taken care of. Everything looked nice and neat. I felt confident in everything that I was doing. And as always, man, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Definitely proud of the progress that I'm making, trying to get better each and every day. That's always been my goal. I've been a part of plenty of undergrounds, especially with my journeyman. But with me being the lead man of this one, it was pretty cool to actually do it by myself. You know, trying to manage my time, you know, so we can get it done in a timely manner. It was pretty simple. It wasn't nothing hard. But, you know, the more you do it, the more you build that confidence. And, you know, it was just another day in the park. You know, another underground. It wasn't that big of a deal. Now the goal is to make sure that I'm getting everything lined up, because like I told you guys, I am going to have to run a circuit into the attic, and we're going to install our AC disconnect. So right here, I'm just trying to get my 90 as close to the wall as possible. And from that 90, we'll be going up to a junction box, and from that junction box, we'll nipple over to the AC disconnect. Per code, every condenser unit should have a disconnect for it. It's pretty simple to install. Basically, you have your line side for the power coming in, and you have your load side for the power going out. Once I got all of that leveled and taken care of, you'll see I just connected my seal tight from the disconnect to the condensing unit. It was pretty simple, it wasn't hard at all. And from that, wanted to make sure I was managing my time properly, so I thought it would be best for me to go ahead and get some jet line in my pipe. With me doing this by myself, I wanted to use the insulated one because I didn't want it to accidentally hit the sub panel. So that's what I'm doing. Try to do it a little slow, I didn't want to just ram it in there when I got up there to the sub panel, but I was able to get it, and basically I just tied my jet line to that, and then once I got that taken care of, I go back to the other side and basically pull it. This is definitely when having some help will come in handy, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. But I was able to make it work. At this time, I did get a call from my coworkers letting me know they was gonna be later than they thought they was. Now they were talking about 2 o'clock, so I'm just like, oh man. But anyway, it was still cool. I kept moving forward and doing what I had to do. Now I'm gonna be installing the junction box. So now my main goal here is just to make sure that everything is leveled and done correctly. Like I told you guys earlier in the video, we will be going up to the attic. So I just wanted to make sure that everything's gonna line up perfectly. So when I do go in the attic, I don't hit any studs or anything like that. So that's basically what I'm doing. So from the sub panel to this junction box, we'll be using THHN wires. And from the junction box up into the attic, we'll be using Romex. And basically we'll just be splicing it right there in the box. With Romex not being rated for wet locations, we can't just use it all the way up to the sub panel. So that's why we're doing it like that. So far I hadn't had any major issues at all. Everything had been going pretty smooth. But I was getting a little sluggish. I was getting tired. I didn't take a lunch. I guess I felt a little pressure to kind of get the job done, but definitely looking back at it, I should have taken a lunch. But we live and we learn, moving forward. But yeah, all I'm doing right now is just, like I said, getting everything leveled, tying everything in. And from that moment, I thought it would be best for me to go ahead and start getting some of our wires taken care of. So I went to the truck, got us a ladder, got me some ENT, and started putting my rolls of THHN on there. So all I needed to do then, since I already had my jet line in there, is make me a head so I can get ready to start pulling everything. And like I said, just trying to be proactive, getting everything taken care of. Now at this time, my coworkers called me and told me they were like 5 to 10 minutes away. So everything was going good. They came at the perfect time to kind of help me pull everything, because I don't think I would have been able to actually feed everything and pull it from that side. So they came, I was able to pull, get everything taken care of with that. Now the only obstacle we had is that one of my grounds were a little short, so we had to re-pull that one, which you guys will probably see me doing here. But other than that, everything went smooth with the pull. Like I said, they came at the perfect time, and we was able to get everything taken care of. Now with us having that wire pull, I was able to have them take care of the disconnect for me. So that was very, very helpful, and it didn't feel like all of the pressure was on me to get everything done anymore. Like I said, I did feel like I made a lot of progress, which I did. So it wasn't really that much for them to take care of for me. But now we're gonna get ready to start wiring everything on the sub panel side. These knee pads, shout out to my mom, she hooked me up with them. I'm not old, but sometimes my knees do hurt, being on those grounds, but you know how it is. Now it's time to terminate all of our wires. With us having 2 different circuits, the one that's going to the furnace will be on the 20 amp breaker, and the one for the AC disconnect will be on the 2-pole 30. With this panel being so small, it's wires everywhere. I'm trying my best to make it look as good as it possibly can, but it was a little tough, but we got it done. I would like to apologize to everyone that supports and been following the journey. I know I hadn't posted in about a month, so I just been working through some things, man. Just trying to stay positive. Being an electrical apprentice, man, it's tough. It has its days, and not the actual work. It's just the other things that come along with being an apprentice, I guess. But I'm trying to stay positive, trying to stay locked in, and taking it one day at a time, man. But it ain't been easy, just trying to deal with everything, and I know it'll get better. Hopefully it gets better. I need it to get better, but yeah, man, I apologize for that absence. I'm just asking y'all for a little grace, while I work through some things, and like I said, hopefully things do get better. Like I said, right now we just finishing up all of the wires. I do have my coworkers knocking out the AC disconnect, so it's really not that much left for us to do. This is our 20 amp breaker and our 2-pole 30. Tried to make it look the best I could, but it was a lot going on in that panel, so I did the best I could. Now it's time to go into the attic where we'll be installing our circuit for our gas furnace. I wanted to go up there and make sure we had the right measurements so I wouldn't hit any studs going in the house. I started off with my bell bit, and then I followed that basically with my hole saw. Looking at this, I'm definitely proud of myself. You know, when I first started, I was not the biggest fan of drilling holes and things like that on people's houses because I didn't want to mess it up. But if you're doing it right, you do it consistently, you know, all of that confidence comes along with it. So yeah, man, we was able to knock that out. Now all I'm doing is basically just strapping up the last of 3/4 pipe that was coming up from the 90, and I had my co-workers kind of help me backfill the trench. We just basically trying to finish up and get everything done. We ran a little late, maybe to like 5 o'clock, but I'm still happy, you know, with how everything went. You know, it could have been a lot later, but I feel like I managed my time properly, you know, being out here by myself, you know, for most of the day doing this job. So, you know, it all went good. Now, one of the last things I need to do is put my 2-hole strap up where my LB is going into the house. Then after that, we'll be moving into the attic. So from the attic, basically, we'll be using our Romex, and I'll be sending it down through that LB to where that junction box is. And I have one of my co-workers actually splice it inside right there. I had to take my shoes off when I went in the house because majority of my boots had mud all over it. So I definitely didn't want to track any mud inside the house. But yeah, I'm just unraveling it, and then I'm gonna send it down to them. And once I send it down to them, basically all I need to do is run my wire to where I'll be installing my switch for the gas furnace, make sure everything is stapled nice and neat. And here's the finished product of everything. We got everything tidied up. We got our trench filled. Overall, I felt like the job went good. I definitely didn't expect, you know, me to be here for most of the day by myself, but I still feel like everything went great. Everything looked nice and neat. It was definitely a confidence booster, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank y'all again for all y'all support, man. I truly appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy, hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. We out.